We are live.
Hello and welcome to Emerald City Nights. I am your GM, Asu Shunamir, 10-year tabletop RPG veteran and 5 to 7 years in Shadowrun 5th edition. I'd like to open this up first to my players to introduce themselves. Corey, would you mind introducing yourself first?
All right. I am Corey. I play a character named Jackie Lee. She is a human street samurai with some very interesting day jobs. So I'm going to pass it to John now.
All right. Well, hi everyone. I am John. If so, jumping in, I play Wraith, and I am the elf sniper of the group. That's pretty much probably the name most everybody's gonna end up knowing me at. So, and I'll go ahead and pass it over to Stevie.
Hey y'all, my name is Stevie. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm going to be playing a dwarven mage named Fairbank, who is a carny turned Shadowrunner. And I'll pass it to Greg.
Hi, everybody. I'm Greg. I'm playing Tankard. He's the Dwarven Rigger and driver if need be, and somewhat the hackathon if we need to.
It's always good to have that too.
Yeah.
Awesome. And today we find ourselves, as many of us around here do, in the independent nation state of Seattle, vaguely under the control of the United Canadian and American States, and wrapped around by the Native American nation of the Salisbury Council. Seattle is the hotbed for shadowrunning, and just about every runner who knows what they're doing on the western seaboard is in Seattle. The day is October 21st, 2076. Shadowrun, for those who do not know, is a cyberpunk fantasy melding where magic has returned to the world in 2012. First, with the births of elves and dwarves through what is medically known as unexpressed that's the great thing about initialisms, you always forget them when you need them. It's known as UGE. A few years later came goblinization, which turned a good chunk of those elvish and dwarven babies into orcs and trolls. As well, with the great ghost dance that happened just about 40 years ago, that caused the creation of the Native American nations that we sit nestled inside. It's a balmy 40 degrees Fahrenheit here in Seattle, right around Halloween time. And the place where we first sort of zoom in is on our good friend Jackie, who you had just gotten a message from Shadow that they would like to hang out sometime in the next 20 or 30 minutes. What are you doing right now?
Probably just finishing up a drink and going to say yes and ask him where he wants to meet.
Okay. As you send out that message, you get a call from your recent acquaintance, Jack.
All right. I answer it because, of course, you can always use a little extra money. Who doesn't? Hey, Jack.
Hey, Jackie. I got a job for you. You're the first one to hear about it. You gonna be free today?
No, but I can make myself free. Interrupting a date night.
Well, unfortunately, New
What's the
Yin.
detail? Yeah, we could always use a little New Yen. What are the details?
Currently, all I have is that it's a delivery job. Something, as easy as any Shadowrun can be.
Which is never that easy.
I'm glad you've picked up on that. You're gonna be meeting the rest of the team at the Pale Moonlight Bar and Club that is in downtown Seattle. We are gonna need you there in the next 45 minutes.
All right, I'll see you there.
All right, we'll see ya.
See ya. And then the moment I hang up, I send Shadow a text full of very salty emojis, going, "Never mind, work calls."
He responds back with just a sad emoji.
Aw.
And actually,
make-
this is a good time to mention one of the fundamental differences of the world of Shadowrun, which is the Matrix. There was an event known as Crash 2.0 that happened very recently, which destroyed the internet as we know it. Flat screens are now used by only the oldest or cheapest among us. And most people connect to the Matrix through their comm links, some through jack-in cables that are pretty cheap to get. And everything at this point is AR and VR. For those who have the contacts, cyber eyes, or glasses to be able to perceive the augmented reality world, it's a bombardment of advertisements and little arrows, graffiti from cheeky kids or your wayward cyberdecker. Of course, your classic two-dimensional texting does exist, but most of the time you're dealing with three-dimensional wireframes that you might manipulate with AR gloves, trodes that sit on top of your head and tap into your neural links. But with that, we will zoom out of a head-shaking, salty Jackie, and we will make our way next to Wraith. It is... I should have mentioned. It is about 3 p.m. Where is Wraith?
Probably at the university. If I'm not in class, I'm probably in the library, chilling out in a alcove, reading books and drinking coffee.
All right. You are actually in the middle of a physics lecture right now. It's Physics 101, but still very important. Your Professor Madsen, is just terrifyingly boring. You get the sense that somewhere buried underneath that wall of terrifying boredom is probably something interesting. When you feel the buzz on your comm link, you've just gotten a text.
I check it out, I pull it up, flash it up in front of me.
It is actually your good friend Benny. It's very simple, astonished face emojis, just with lots of exclamation points, and then in all lowercase, call me now, Nguyen, Nguyen, Nguyen.
I'll go ahead and dial them up, just pop, I click probably the hot link that's in the text.
Yeah, it rings Weirdly, it rings about 5 or 6 times before Benny picks it up very quickly. Could you describe Benny?
Sure. I imagine Benny as let's have some fun with this. He's about 4'1.5". He is a dwarf. And I'm going to say that he is a Pacific Islander. Enjoys, whenever I've actually met him in person, probably is wearing those dark green khakis, one of those ostentatious Hawaiian print shirts, and probably several different gold chains. We'll go with that. That's what I see Benny as.
That sounds adorable and like perfect.
Awesome. Yeah. As soon as the call connects, you hear, Wraith. It's the big time. Like this is the real stuff now. All right. It's just a simple delivery job. Pretty bog standard. Probably not gonna be that big, but like this is your ticket in.
When and where?
The meet is at a place called Pale Moonlight Bar and Grill. Sorry, I'm getting all of my stuff mixed up. It's just called the Pale Moonlight. Just Google it, and you'll find it. It's downtown Seattle. But you gotta go now.
I think
with all the traffic.
At least I'm already there. I'm already in downtown. So yeah, thanks. I'll be there. Okay.
All right. Okay. You're gonna meet a guy. Real quick. You're gonna meet a guy. His name is Jack the Orc. This guy's like I dream of being this guy. Well, I mean, on the bad nights. I mean, I'm Benny Jet. I'm pretty cool. But like you'll meet him there. He's pretty easy to spot. Tall, black jacket, real leather.
Okay, I'll be there. Jack the Orc. Okay.
You can hear the like scuffling of the comlink as he's like, yeah.
This entire time, I've not been sub-vocalizing. I'm literally just talking out loud in class. And the moment that the call is over, I hang up and I pretty much flick the completed mechanical engineering assignment down to my professor, stand up, and walk out of the lecture.
To be clear, is that an AR flick or is that a physical?
Both. It's literally my hand goes up and I swat the paper in front of me, and an AR it drifts down in front of them and lands in front of his desk. So, and I stand up and walk out of the class.
He scoffs and shakes his head, trying to salvage the lecture. As your hand hits that door, we zoom back out, and actually about 2 hours earlier, Mr. Fairbank, you are wrapping up the last of the carnival stuff for the year. Unfortunately, there's not been enough traffic around this area to stay open for Halloween. It's possible you might do like a quick rush job, October 30th. It's happened before, it'll happen again. When one of your friends comes up to you and kind of taps you on the shoulder and says, "Hey, I got someone I think you might want to meet."
Oh? Is this is this gonna be like the last someone you wanted me to meet? Because that went so sideways.
No. That was a misjudgment on my part. I'm sorry. No. This guy's a lot better. I should mention that this guy is your buddy Crush.
Yeah, Crush. Crush is my bro. I love Crush the Clown.
Yeah. As the two of you walk towards the front gate of the carnival park, his shoes flop squeakily. And you see a very serious-looking orc man. He looks to be... It's hard to tell orc ages because he looks to be about 30 or 40 in human age. But even your little bit of time around orcs leads you to know a 40 or 50-year-old orc does not look as healthy as the man that stands in front of your gate right now.
Fairbank is going to look at him and say, "Hey, sorry, buddy, but we've already closed up shop for the day."
Shame, I was just about to open mine. Pulls out a cigar, lights it. Your friend says you've got interesting skills.
Some could say that. I do get a perfect score at the dunk tank every time.
Perhaps that's true, but I guess I won't mince words. Your friend has been telling me about your awakened activities, and
Yeah, I scoot like a little closer to him, like, hey.
he does not move at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, I'm not here to strong-arm you. I'm here to give you a job. Looks like you are packing up for the year, huh?
Yeah, there might be some, Halloween, Spirit Halloween will roll into here maybe on the 30th or the 31st, but yeah, we're about wrapping the season.
Yeah, Spirit Halloween just hasn't been the same since it got bought up by Ares Macro Technology. Bastards. But, Mr. Crush, I think we're done here. The Orc Man.
Can I do a handshake? Can I do my best friend secret handshake with Crush?
Absolutely. What does that look like?
So there's a lot of like slapping and a little like thumb war almost, but in a very sequential pattern, with ending with a, and that's it.
Amazing. Jack seems both. I guess I always get too excited. Jack seems pretty impressed at the physical dexterity of the both of you, and as you finish your handshake, he hands Crush a silver cred stick, which will segue us neatly into the next kind of big difference. Physical money, national dollars, functionally do not exist in Shadowrun. If you're anybody, you are paid in new yen, which is sort of if Bitcoin was a good idea. New yen being a fully digital currency only exists physically on what are called certified cred sticks. These are small USB-sized items that store that new yen on it. If a cred stick is destroyed, that money is gone. So as he slips Crush the cred stick and kind of waits for Crush to, walk away, Crush gives you two big thumbs up before walking all the way away. Jack says, "So, you're a spell slinger, right? We can be up front right now."
Yeah.
Good. Then, do you have your own transportation?
No.
You're not the first, you won't be the last, don't worry. I'll have a cab come and pick you up here in about 2-3 hours.
Hmm.
I've got a delivery job that hopefully I won't need someone of your skills on, but if I said that too much, I wouldn't be where I am.
Are there any other details of the gig?
Unfortunately, not that I know, but you're going down to downtown Seattle, a place called the Pale Moonlight. There, we're gonna hook you up with some trodes, and you're gonna talk to some friends of mine.
All right. Listen, I'm always down to party.
I like that. I might know a guy you might like.
You know,
For
I
now-
get that reaction a lot.
That's fair. He does one of those, like, where he hooks his whole arm around to present it for a handshake, and you can see that his arm is not only fully mechanical, it bulges at the forearm in a very, like, even for a mechanical arm in a natural way, and it is inlaid. I will say it like this. It is inlaid with certain things that if you wanted to roll me in a sensing, I could tell you more about.
But Jack would definitely know I was trying to get a vibe check, right?
Yes. The question I want you to ask yourself is Fairbank socially versed enough about this sort of thing to know that that's a bit of a social faux pas?
I think if this was someone who hadn't just paid his friend, and like the bulgingness and the bulkiness and the uniqueness kind of puts a like, there's some stuff going on here. I don't think I'm gonna stir this particular pot and just wait for the cab and see what happens.
Very healthy of you. He takes your hand, gives you a nice firm shake. It's a regular. It's not one of those like break your hand kind of firm. And tosses something interesting about this cigar when he tosses it and it hits the ground. You've seen this sort of thing billions, possibly, of times. But when it hits the ground, it just sort of melts into the ground itself. And there's not a single trace of it left.
To his departing back, I'll say, one day we'll have a handshake of our own. I can feel it.
He looks back, gives you a single wink, and then keeps walking.
Sounds like that.
And finally, Tankard, you are just walking out of your favorite place in the world,
Excellent.
the Rusty Cage. Your good friend Ginger Bear just got off of his shift, wearing a nice sort of felt satin. I always get those
There
two
you
mixed up. A nice satin robe with a big GB on it.
Are you sure you don't want to change clothes? It's awfully cold out here. I mean, I'm not going to complain either way.
Nah, I've got a double shift. I gotta start in 20 minutes.
That's a shame.
But it always makes the shift change a little better to have you. And he goes to pat you on the shoulder in a very friendly way, and once again you're reminded of your difference in stature when only about this much of his hand takes up your entire shoulder.
Yeah. I forget how tall you are sometimes.
If only everybody else did, it'd make my life a little easier. So, while you're out here, how to put it? You get a call from a number that Ginger had actually given you a couple of days earlier, telling you to expect a call.
Hey, you know that ring you told me to keep an eye out on? They're calling now. I'm so sorry we have to stop what we're doing. Kind of re-button my shirt. I have to take this. You gave it to me. It's important this way.
Yeah, I think this will really, this will be a good opportunity for you. I'll be in the back if you have enough time.
I'll see what happens. And, like, probably the 7th or 8th ring has happened, and I'm like, I'll finally swipe it up. Yellow!
Right. You hear a couple of seconds of like shuffling, and then hi there, is this Tankard?
That's what they call me.
Good. My name's Jack, and I'm here to hire your services.
Depends on the job. I'm not a big fan of wet works, but I can drive a car or, do anything else.
Well, if everything goes the way I'm kind of expecting it to, shouldn't be any wet work at all. No, it's a simple delivery job. I'm grabbing you as the wheelman. I should probably explain. I'm not the one who's gonna be paying you the new yen.
I kind of guessed.
Yeah. Smart. I like that. We're gonna need you down at the Pale Moonlight here in about 30 or 40 minutes.
In my own? Is it starting now? Are you providing the vehicle, or am I just meeting you down there?
It'd be best if you brought your own vehicle. If you need transportation, I can't arrange that.
I kind of look around, and I'm in the back of the van now. As Ginger walks gently into the club. I can be there.
Okay. I will say the last thing you see of Ginger is he disappears behind the door, pops back out for a single last second, and just before closing the door.
Put it in the pocket.
Jack says, all right, well, yeah, we need you here in 30 to 45.
I'll be there in 15.
Love to hear it. I'll be the one guy at the bar with a black leather jacket on.
Okay, I'll be shocked once I get there if you're the only one in that black leather jacket, but we'll see what happens. It's Seattle. We all wear black leather jackets. As I look to the left, and I have like 3 thrown on the back of the van.
Now, something I should mention is there are a number of other things, such as because of the switch to digital, mostly, paper is exceedingly rare. In fact, any books, binders, anything that uses actual paper is called dead tree paper. Most of the time, if you are handed, let's say, a folder or any kind of paper, it's electronic paper. Has a little thing at the top for you to slot in your universal connector cables, which come standard with every comlink and data jack, which is the thing that goes on the back of your head. As well, leather, real animal leather, is extremely expensive, more so than even in the real world today. Of course, not out of a necessarily humane reason, but simply because the ultra elites don't want the rest of us down here to have it. So while it is true that you have these leather jackets, they're almost certainly synthetic leather. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They're probably like vinyl that's painted leather.
Yeah. As well, for probably all of you, the closest thing you've had to a real hamburger is either a soy burger or a krill burger. Almost all meat products these days are pure krill, unless you're willing to shell out 40 or 50 new yen for a small real meat hamburger.
Mhm.
So,
I'll
Yes.
I'll see you there, buddy, and I'll hang up. And then as I get dressed, kind of jack in and just kind of let my mind take over the drive as I get dressed and go through my inventory checklist.
all right. And that brings us to another kind of small in-universe thing. The vast majority of roads are connected to something called grid guide. These days, 90% of drivers don't know how to drive a car. Instead, what they know how to do is get in, hit their grid guide button, select where they want to go, and let the autopilot do the rest of the work. It is only the most rural or off-road of roads that are not connected to grid guide. That's not to say that a good wheelman is not still extremely important to a Shadowrunner team. Because of course, grid guide won't let you go above the speed limit, radically change lanes, ramp over anything, slam into anything. So as you connect to the grid guide and make your way down to the pale moonlight, roughly everybody gets there at the same time. So I will roll one of my nice Shadowrun branded D6s,
Nice.
and that will tell me who is going to get there first by a matter of literal minutes. So up first we have, hilariously, Jackie.
Of course she'd be there, like, the first. She didn't keep Jack waiting.
Yeah.
Not very long.
So the
So-
first thing, as you pull up to the pale moonlight, I will actually move us to, where are you? The pale moonlight. Let me, boop. So, Miss Jackie, you are over here. We will put 1 second.
Mhm.
I don't necessarily expect any sort of fighting to go on here, but you never know.
You never know. Now, I do have a question. Is this a club I've worked before, or is it just a standard dive bar?
Do you have any knowledge skills that would be relevant to bars, important locations, knowledge Seattle?
I have knowledge Seattle. I have to go down to my skills.
Then yes, you can absolutely roll area knowledge Seattle to learn more about, because you have never been to the Pale Moonlight.
Okay.
You've heard about it. It opened up in the last 2 or 3 years. Weirdly, and Fairbank, you would have heard about this, but not necessarily in relation to the Pale Moonlight. It opened up right around the time that a doom spirit was banished. And for someone like Jackie, that's just a local history event.
Mhm.
But the banishing of a doom spirit, or a free spirit of any sort, is the sort of thing that will probably not be forgotten by the awakened community for the next 10 years.
If you aren't seeing it, that is a full mental limit of 6s, so 4 successes.
That is, for the dice, the best roll I have seen in like 2 or 3 years.
I know. I'm looking
Uh,
at the result, just going, okay, that's I'll take that.
Yeah, that's
So
that is staggeringly good. So the Pale Moonlight Bar and Club, open up in scenic downtown Seattle, right where you can see past into the harbor. It actually has its own dock in the back.
Nice.
It almost the day it opened, it got a reputation as the nicest seedy bar you could go to. It's where all of the big names in the Yakuza, the Vori, the Mafia, anyone who you don't want to be on the bad side of, flocked to this place. It's also kind of an open secret that it's what's known as a Shadowrunner bar. So it is both a place where Shadowrunners go and where Shadowruns are planned. All of that is kind of flowing in your mind as you pull up, and the first thing you see are the big glass panes that let you see inside. See the staggeringly lack of people inside. But as well, this glass is very strange. It has small bits of what looks to be metallic substances inside of it, and as well has a semi-transparent lattice going through it. The closer you get, the more you can see that this is not your average everyday glass.
Okay.
This is the lead-lined concrete of glass.
All right. So fairly secure. I also know why Jackie's probably avoided it for the longest time.
Yeah.
She doesn't need to attract that kind of attention. Usually.
Very healthy of you. As you step up, actually not pictured, there are 2 guards to each entrance, both the outer entrances and the inner entrances. Let's see, numbering 8 guards just to walk past to get in. As you step up to them, what do you say?
Hey, Jack's expecting me. Able to get in, or do I need to go through a different entrance? And I'm being very charming.
Nice. The one guard closest to you doesn't seem to physically move, but then you hear the loud locks of the door go, and he with one hand opens it and says, "Enjoy your time in the pale moonlight. Don't make it your last."
Well, not if I can help it. She kind of playfully switches her hips as she walks in. She's very, very, think Miss Scarlet from Clue.
Something I'll mention right now is you can actually drag and drop your tokens to move them.
Yay! So I'm gonna move in. I can't seem to go very far, unfortunately.
Hilarious. Right. There you go. I forget that I actually have to manually move the doors out of the way. This is because in past years, I've had some players who have given me a great deal of shenanigans, and it is a safety measure. As you get up to the second set of doors,
Okay.
you can see there's a very classic look to a metal scanner. So there's the full-size metal scanner as the door frame, and then the guard, the inside guard, actually has a wand as well. And he is going to
Wand
as
me.
you yes.
It's probably going to alert over her chest. She does have alpha wear enhancements. She paid good money for those. But she turns that into a joke. Like, yeah, I know. They're not natural.
The guard, not a smirk, not a smile, terribly serious. Is there anything you're actively trying to hide?
No. I mean, I'm assuming her sword is stashed somewhere if she needs it, but it's not hidden necessarily.
Okay.
So
Then
if they
I'll
catch it,
assume.
then yeah. I was gonna say if they catch it, if there's a check-in for weapons, she'll happily take the ticket for it.
All right. Hilariously, there is not. Uh, uh, as the guard steps back, he, for the first time, no one's looked at you until right this moment. He looks you in your eyes and says, "Do you have anything to declare?"
I mean, I've got a sword, I've got a pistol on my hip. Seems kind of strange to walk anywhere these days without a little bit of armor. So, or arming. There we go. That's a word.
You
So, do I need to
you
check
hear-
them in anywhere?
He does not respond to you. Somehow even heavier locks open in the door, and he does the exact same thing as the guy in the front. Welcome to the pale moonlight. Don't make this your last time here.
I do have a question. Are they mortal or are they droid? Am I
They're
getting that
humans,
sense?
as
They are
far as you
human.
could tell.
Okay.
I should say they're all different meta types. The guy at the front was an elf. This guy's an orc. There's a dwarf over in the top right.
Okay. Oh, and for both viewers and the record here, Jackie is fairly well dressed. She does have actual designer, more or less, coat and skin suit on. So her standard equipment. So
All right. As you step in, hiya. This is a very nice die, and I like it. Wraith, you are the next one to walk in.
Makes sense, of course.
I would dare to say, as you're walking up, you either saw Jackie walk in, or you saw the front door like mid-swing closing as you step up. Pretty much the exact same scenario that just happens to you.
Here for biz, chummer.
They say nothing except what they've said before. Just to be sure, is there anything you declare?
Yeah, I've got a, I pretty much like open up my jacket and show that I've got 2 sliver guns on my hips, and I do inform them that I do have my rifle in it kind of looks like a backpack on the back. So
Okay. It is. I might say it's a little jarring how, as you each disclose what weapons you have, it's almost like they don't care. But they let you in all the same.
now I'm assuming the token that I see at the bar is the contact Jack, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Notably, there is no one else at the bar. This small dance pit here, because it's only about 4 p.m., or
Yeah.
just about to roll into 4 p.m. It's daytime mode. You know, the lights are on. It's nice and bright inside. There's actually no music playing. The few people who are in these side booths in the walls seem to be very hush-hush. The second, if you notice them and they notice you, they will immediately stop talking, huddle together.
Jackie knows better than to pay attention to anybody else unless they're purposely trying to get her attention.
All right. Wraith, how do you respond to these things?
looking over towards Jackie, do I see that you're armed?
Yes. She's got an Ares 1 mono sword, kind of on her back, back sheathed. And It probably looks to you a little awkward, but she does have a pistol on her hip. Because not having a ranged weapon is kind of a bad idea, but you can tell she's not exactly proficient with it just by the way it hangs on her holster.
I kind of do the whole nod and point at myself and point over nearby you and kind of shrug. You know, basically saying, "Mind if I come over that way?"
Yeah. Jackie will nod. She's. Do you look your age from what I've seen of your background? You look like a college student?
Well, here's the question for the game master: would they have let me in with my helmet still on?
Yes, they would not have said anything about that.
Then I still have my helmet on.
Okay.
So, lithe, androgynous, and probably elven.
Jackie gives you a very winning smile and kind of nods and motions to the seat next to her, like between or on her other side from Jack.
All right. As that happens, Tankard, your name is literally on my screen. Tankard, you are the next one to roll up. This is one of the few places you have ever seen that actually has parking spaces specifically for vans that are. There's of course a lot of handicap parking spots, a couple van accessible, but there's even non-handicap van parking spots.
Perfect.
Alright.
That's what I'm looking for. I'll pull up, double park, because I'm that type of guy in middle of the day. No one else is probably here. Go through the front door. Hey, Sammy, and just kind of wait for him to open up the door.
He looks down at you and says, "Oh yeah, hey pal, come on in."
Yeah.
Not that anyone else would have noticed, but this guy is like actually kind of loosey goosey about just opening up the door. The next guy in, you know this guy, that's Doug. He's a tight ass.
Yeah, of course.
As soon
Doug,
as
you already know I got the drones on me. Just, do whatever you gotta do.
he wands over you and he says, I'll get you that 5 million I owe you from the cards the other week."
It's alright, man. Don't you worry about it.
He opens the door for you and lets you right in.
Walk on up, do the quick scan. I assume the only person there with the leather jacket, because there's only 3 other people at the bar, besides the employees. Be like, well, looks like that's where I need to go. Stumble on over to the bar and order a drink. Kind of look at Jack. Hi, I'm Tankard.
It's good to meet you. And as that's happening, finally, Fairbank, you are in. You arrive on the scene.
So I get out and I say bye to the cab driver who I've been striking up casual conversation with throughout the ride over. And I walk up to... Oh, can I roll to see what I know about the Doom Spirit thing? Like, what have I heard from the Awakened community?
Yes, actually, if you have a relevant knowledge skill, absolutely.
So, would that be a knowledge shadow community, or a knowledge magic tradition, or a knowledge area, knowledge Seattle?
So for this specifically, it would actually be Shadow Community. And that's going to be a very... I really hope you roll high enough, because it's like, if you don't, it's not like mission critical that you know this, but ooh, it's a juicy bit of lore. Ooh.
Listen, I'm all about that juicy bit of lore.
Hey, it's always fun stuff.
2 successes.
Oh no.
Still good.
Yeah, it's still good.
Unfortunately, all you can remember is that there was a shadow runner. So essentially, this is the Cliff's Notes of it. There was a shadow runner who worked as an Ares Knight Errant, so essentially the police force around Seattle these days. It used to be Lone Star, but they lost the private contract to the city of, to the nation state of Seattle, and Ares Macro Technology Knight Errant are now the private police of the city of Seattle. So, a runner who worked for Knight Errant, a runner who was in some kind of an intimate relationship with the current head of the Yakuza in Seattle, worked together to banish a doom spirit, resulting in the Yakuza affiliated runner to die. And ever since then, the Shadow community has been reeling. It's been over a year now since that happened, and they're still picking up the pieces.
And that happened here at the Pale Moonlight.
No, it actually happened somewhere up near Snohomish, so that's northeast of here. But those two runners were heavily associated with this bar, including Jack.
Okay. Cool. I walk up to the two folks. Do they do the same? I say, yeah, I think I have an appointment.
Jerry, the dwarven man, kind of walks up. It says, yeah, what you need? Get the glasses. This guy's making me feel weird. And you see from like a faux leather pouch these huge goggles that this dwarven man pulls out, slips over. It takes him a couple seconds to get it all adjusted. He looks at you, and what the goggles do resemble a sensing.
Gotcha.
And
I say, well, aren't you going to buy me a drink first?
the non-dwarven man kind of chuckles. The dwarven man is like still really like all up in your stuff. And he says, guy shouldn't be a problem. Okay. You're allowed in. Welcome to the
Fairbank
Pale.
looks like a little offended, like, I could be a problem. But he goes on through.
Do you have anything to declare for the guard on the inside?
Yeah, I just got my crossbow, my baton, my med kits. Nothing else to declare.
You see him kind of stare off into the distance for a second. Then he does one of these. Says, if you throw a spell in here, good or bad, it will be the last spell you throw. And then he opens the door.
All right, yeesh, okay. Whew.
For reasons that should be obvious, they're not fond of the Awakened around here. But yeah, you see the small gathering up at the bar. So
I make my way over there, and I have a seat.
all right, and now with everybody collected together, starting with Jackie, would you mind more fully describing what you look like for everybody?
All right. Jackie's a 29-year-old human woman, short bobbed blonde hair dyed at the tips, kind of a brilliant blue. If she takes off her jacket, she's got winding LED tattoos across her torso and arms. And she's just a very attractive woman. You may or may not be familiar with her in character because she does a lot of modeling for pretty much anyone willing to pay her, including certain questionably adult agencies. So she's not exactly a in the shadows type Shadowrunner. She's very much a face.
All right, Wraith.
Sorry,
No, you're fine.
So, Wraith looks pretty much average adult height, but Live is wearing kind of the motorcycle gear. Still wearing a helmet, but there's actually a the visor is very much practical. Like there are actually optics coming out of it. Uh, and then, even though wearing this all this motorcycle gear, you can also tell they are definitely wearing a stealth suit underneath. Uh, so yeah. Other than that,
Mhm.
very hard to get much of a feel off them.
All right.
All right.
Fairbank.
So Fairbank is about 3'3" dwarf who has red hair that is styled up into a mohawk, and he has goggles on his head. He is around 31ish, and he has a rather loud clothing style that would feel a little bit more at place in a carnival type situation, but the like bright purple faux leather trench coat that has like gold accents on it and like kind of contrasting colors and accents underneath, like definitely a spot of color in this. And he, yeah, yeah.
All right. Uh, and finally, Tankard.
I'll look at him and be like, "Is your mother's name Sue?" My hair is also a red short mohawk. Um, I have the handlebar mustache with a little red goatee. He's 5'6", so he's a little taller than what you are. The green eyes, doesn't have any implants besides the back of his skull, right where the mohawk ends is his data jack. Um, Beyond that, he's just wearing like a khaki cargo pants, beat up tennis shoes, and a t-shirt. But underneath that, he does have a chameleon suit on, which could be visible if he like stretches and has his awkward, rubs his belly a little bit.
And finally, I'll describe Jack a little bit more. Tall, older-looking orc. Again, almost impossibly old for an orc. Um, he's got all sorts of cyber just from the look of him. Both of his arms are fully cybernetic, absolutely bulging with armor and other little compartments. He also has. He actually has two data jacks. One on this side and one on this side. This one here on his left is actually kind of rusty, very old looking. The cable is about that big, whereas your normal data jack in the last like 20 years is only about the cable is only about that big. As well, you can tell on the side of his head he's got a little bit of some kind of an implant, but it's hard to tell what it even could be. He's got his long black leather jacket with the outside spiked studs. And as well, this is the most beat up jacket you have ever seen in your life. Patches have been repaired. It's bristling with plates. Um, and one moment. I need to go take care of something.
Well,
What? Go ahead.
no, I was gonna say, while we're stepping away for the moment, I will go ahead and mention that if you have not had a chance, be sure to check out here on Twitch. Yesterday we had our episode of Seventh Seas, and tomorrow night we should be back for our Ninja Crusade game with Growing Shadows. Currently, our ninjas are in the land of Seed and Blossom and dealing with all the threats there. So, be sure to tune in tomorrow night, same exact time. But I'm gonna turn it back over.
Thank you.
All right.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
But yeah, that is Jack, and as you're all sitting here and kind of takes stock of everyone, he says, "All right, that looks like everybody. So it's time to move into the back rooms where you're going to be meeting your actual employers."
Must be pretty big if we're going to the back rooms.
Not as big as you'd imagine. As he stands up, the bartender actually slides each of you a small rubber wristband. And as Jack puts his on, he says, "All right, make sure as long as you're back here, you do not take this off. Even if you're in the bathroom, if you do, they will shoot you."
All right, fair enough.
Um,
Jackie adds it to her accessories.
So the lot of you would move over this way. Let's file you in like this. You go down. You hear the beep of your wristband, and the door into the back room opens. Jack walks through like he's done this a billion times, and it's very likely that he has. As well, these doors, they look like they're swing out, but they actually slide into the wall when you walk up. As you walk through this hallway, you can see through similar glass to the front glass. You see another bigger area that is also sort of a dancing area. There's what looks to be a very bored-looking DJ over at a DJ booth over to your southwest. Again, there's not really any music playing, but as soon as you five walk through, he holds up 3 fingers, and Jack also, Jack holds up 2 fingers like this, and nods and puts on some light kind of poppy synth. You know, it's got a lot of energy to it. It's very bright. And it's pretty low. It wouldn't be hard to talk over the music.
All right.
As you all walk in, the elvish woman at the bar looks at Jack and she nods at him, and Jackie, you notice that she looks for a long time at you.
I crack a smile and just go, "Okay, so which video or photo shoot?"
She laughs a little embarrassed as a light red flushes across her face. And Jack is still walking at this point, to be clear, but she says, God, who was I? I had a specific answer for this. Oh, yeah, that's right. Terradome combat boots. I just got a pair myself.
They're nice boots. Can't recommend them enough.
By this point, Jack is like already over here. By some of these booths back here actually have glass doors on them, and these are swing out doors. And you can see that they have heavy key card locks. Some of them even have combination key card, number pad, retinal scanner, finger scanner. Like, some of these booths look pretty hardcore. the one he takes you up to is just a simple key card and number.
Still expensive.
Yeah, that's this is coming out of my pocket, not yours.
Always helps to be secure, though.
Definitely. Before you all get in, is there anything I can order for you?
Here are the margaritas here.
They're about as good as anywhere else. You hear Shersa, the woman behind the bar, from across the room, like, "We have the best mimosas in town!" A little indignant.
Is it free?
Jack kind of rolls it around in his head. Yeah,
Two mimosas.
first one's free. First one's free. I'll get you one mimosa.
Fair enough.
I'll take that second mimosa.
Yeah, add on a third.
Wraith, would you like anything?
I'm on the clock.
So are we all.
I
Until
have
we
a
accepted
different
the
idea of my clock.
Fair
Does
enough.
Wraith actually out loud say, "I'm on the clock"?
Yep.
Jack nods at that and seems a little impressed and is like, "All right," and ushers you all. So, what's not pictured is that there is a large circular table in the middle of this booth area. What's a little weird is that the actual seats also have cup holders. Or drink holders, I should say. Now, the little things, the little armrests are big enough that they look like they could hold a small plate pretty well. But this table looks like it is not used for table things.
Is it, would data be able to be projected on it if we don't have AR augmentation?
Yes and no.
Okay.
So, as you all file in, right before Jack leaves, he says, anyone who doesn't have a data jack, you'll find a set of trodes underneath your seat. Trodes, goggles, AR gloves, everything you need.
Does Jackie actually have those?
Would I need to use theirs, or can I use my own AR gloves and goggles?
You can use your own. There's a universal connector in the armrest. You just have to slide it. You'd slide it like that, and it reveals the cable connector.
Yeah.
Gotcha,
Jackie
I do
puts on
so.
the equipment.
Okay. So yeah, as you all hook in and trode up. So the way trodes work, and I alluded to this a little bit earlier, is they're a lattice that you drape over your head, and therefore those who either can't afford or shouldn't use implants to be able to directly interface with things. But it picks up on your neural synapses so that you can do things like you can send out texts with a thought or understand information in certain information in an instant. The goggles that are provided allow you to actually visually perceive augmented reality things, which is what's going to be projected from this table. And the gloves provided allow you to manipulate augmented reality objects. Now, these can be everything from a billboard that you might not normally be able to interact with, all the way down to like a scale model of the Earth that you could, pull and zoom and zoom. So yeah.
One thing, just out of habit, I'll drop one of my micro drones onto the table, and I'm not gonna hide it, but just I want to be visual with the door and inject into reality as well. Or
Okay.
VR.
That is a great idea.
I literally just reach over and grab a cable and plug it directly into my head.
Awesome. Uh, I also have always imagined these data jacks as looking like in the first Matrix movie when they pull Neo out of the Matrix. It's like that on the back of his neck.
See, every time I hear this, I keep picturing like Ghost in the Shell, especially like standalone complex. But yeah, it makes sense that it's also like Matrix-like.
See, I
Yeah?
guess I might be showing my age a little bit, but Johnny Mnemonic, and he just
Yes, actually. When I first started learning about Shadowrun, I watched Johnny Mnemonic, and that's exactly what it looks like. You might also think of Lawnmower Man, because the only ones here who would be able to get full like the Matrix level interface from what's about to happen would be those with a data jack, and that is what is called, depending on how hardcore you want to do it, either cold sim or hot sim. Both of these VRs, because there's AR and then there's VR. VR is where your entire consciousness jacks into the Matrix, so you can smell and taste. You can feel the weight of something. You could go to a Matrix restaurant, buy a steak, and eat that steak and taste all the tastes, smell all the smells, just like if you were in the real world, or meat space, as we call it.
Yeah.
All right. So you all pile in,
Yeah.
and once you're all kind of set and ready, you would see in AR there's a little what is it? Window. There's a little window that says basically click here to join meeting with D and D E.
All right.
Yeah.
And Jackie clicks it.
All right. Now, for those with data jacks, do you stay in AR or do you switch to VR?
I'm actually going to stay in AR because I'll be utilizing a lot of my additional tech. So I've got selective sound filters going. So I have like, even if there was even the slightest hint of music, I've killed that in the background, and I'm listening to the rest of the room and listening to make sure nobody's coming up on the team or
Mhm.
things of that nature.
Good. Tank.
I would have gone full VR because if I'll have pop a little window up and watch through my drone and out our front door, and if anything happens.
All right. Awesome. So everybody else, you would just see in AR a little D and DE, very corporate looking logo, kind of spinning around where the table, just above where the table is. But Tankard, as you full VR in, your body goes limp. Your consciousness is fully jacked in, and you are currently connected to the pale moonlight host. And you are actually seeing a VR representation of this room. If anyone has set a Matrix persona, you would be seeing that. And as you might imagine, your Matrix persona is just anything that it's like VR chat.
Yeah.
However you want to look in VR is how you look.
So my VR persona is going to be like a little sailor girl, like a magical girl, but with like a red goatee.
Love it.
I love it.
Yeah. My character's young, so young but meme savvy. even for old memes from a different time. So my avatar is, if you've ever seen the famous, terrible, like little short clip, I think it was on Vine for a while, and it's this person with the horse head, and they're sitting on the ground with a crystal, and the little baby runs by and says, "My poop's coming out." It's that horse person just sitting there.
Well,
Amazing. Jackie, do you have any particular persona?
I don't think she would have set one up. She typically, despite being fully capable and financially and physically of taking a data jack, she tries to stay off of that as much as possible. So she probably looks about the same both in virtual presence as in she does in real life.
Ah, okay. So your persona would probably be something like a wireframe outline of standard humanoid number 1.
It might be a little bit more personalized to her specifically, because her brother probably set it up for her. But otherwise, it's just like bland. She looks a lot more human in virtual space than she does in real life.
Perfect.
Would I have a virtual persona? Like, I can't, like, I don't think I have a Jack.
Yeah, anyone who has a comlink, anyone who's ever been on the Matrix, has a persona. So essentially, if you've ever used a comlink before today, you would have a persona.
Got it. My persona's Bigfoot.
Well, what's funny is, Sasquatch are actually a member of the metahuman community.
Then I don't want to do that. That feels appropriative if they're like for real, like metahumans.
Probably the next best thing would be like, what is it? The most famous Sasquatch these days. Well, yeah, the most famous. Let's see, who would that be? Oh, yes, that would be Jack Norrington, who is a famous Trid star. Most people don't own flat screen anything these days, so when you go to see a movie, you would jack into something kind of like this scenario here, and you would watch a 3-dimensional movie. Even classic movies like Die Hard and Citizen Kane have been adapted for Trids. So now you can stand next to Charles Foster Kane as he gives his famous speech, or you can crawl in the vents with Bruce Willis as he takes down the people at Nakatomi Plaza.
Then I'll have my persona be just my character, but like in a crop top.
I love it. Amazing.
That has an image of this that I'm like a fan of that Bigfoot, of that Sasquatch person.
Oh man, yeah. Jack
nice.
Norrington is Jack Norrington.
I have
There are
like
a lot of Jacks
Norrington
in
and
this
like a number on the back.
There's a lot of Jacks. One of the most famous Shadowrunners in like IRL the Shadowrun lore is Fast Jack, who used to be on Jack Point, but that's a whole thing for another time. Let me just send
lore
the
books
text.
written from their perspective.
Yeah, that has been one of my favorite things about reading the source books for Shadowrun is a lot of them are framed as like you're on a forum and the information you're being given as a player is from the perspective of in-universe characters. Man of Many Names is my favorite. 1 second, just some real life stuff going on. Okay, that should be the end of that. Okay. So yeah, once everybody's hit connect to call, you see 2 human men standing side by side. How to put this? weirdly nice suits. In that they're nice suits, but they don't seem to fit on either of these two men. As well, even in AR, you can see the big, like, oil stains and food stains on the regular no graphic t-shirts beneath the jacket that they wear. One man has a very scruffy, like, 8 o'clock shadow. And the other man, it's not so much that he looks clean shaven, it looks like he has no choice but to be clean shaven.
Okay.
And they
the corporate man.
Yes. Well, I guess I mean physically he has no choice but to be clean shaven. But the clean shaven man steps up and says, "All right. Hello, you're our runner team. You just got done talking to Jack, right?"
Yes.
Yes.
All right, nice. Nice. Better than the last ones. My name is Dan. This is my associate, Dan. We are Dan and Dan of Dan and Dan's Electronics. D&DE, the future of Seattle. All right, now that all the corporate bullshit is out of the way, so today we're hiring you to help secure a package that is going to revolutionize the grocery market. It is currently in a prototype, but it's a very simple job. We need you to go to this warehouse, and as he holds his hand up, a map, a two-dimensional see-through map of Seattle shows up. It locates where you guys are at the Pale Moonlight, and just to your southwest, in somewhere in general Tacoma, the map is not very specific, is the location where you're going to pick the prototype up, and then another location all the way up on the other end of the city in Snohomish is where you're supposed to drop it off. And Dan says, real simple. You pick the prototype up. There should be some guys waiting for you. Get through the Seattle traffic. That should be the hardest part. Drop it off at our guys at the warehouse up in Snom. We're done. Easy.
Sorry. There's never an easy job.
Size
Who
of
did
package.
you piss off? Yeah.
He regards you, Tankard, in a sort of like, why would you say that? And Wraith, he says, the package should be about yay big. And as he does this, a cube shows up showing the exact dimensions of this box that you are going to be picking up. It's about 18 inches tall, 5 inches across. It's a cube, it's an elongated cube. And it has a handle on the top. Very, very important that you do not, he looks around to everybody, do not open the box, please.
Any special handling that we need to worry about?
Light spillage. If the box is broken enough that it opens, the contents may spill out.
Is the
So
package protected in any sort of way?
Well, yeah, it's a nice, plastic box with a handle.
No. Is this a B&E package pickup?
He looks at Dan. They both kind of whisper at each other. No. You are expected at both of these places.
Okay.
Is this package
Will you
waterproof?
be able to?
And Wraith looks over at Tankard and it's like, Sorry.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Dan, looking a little awkward, says, you, and points at Wraith. What did you want?
Is it waterproof?
Oh, yes, extremely waterproof. Unbelievably waterproof. I mean, yes, it's waterproof. Yes.
Bulletproof?
No?
Thank you.
Kind of shakily turns to Tankard. What did you want?
I, the person there asked a lot of the same questions I have, but do we have credentials so we can identify ourselves, or can it? Can I have something pick it up so we may not have to interact with it?
Yeah. I mean, it's just a box. Like it's got a handle. Like,
My second question: who did you
uh-huh.
piss off, and who knows about the project pickup?
Oh my God! No, but no. I looks at Dan. No, we haven't pissed anybody off. I mean, not recently, but not anyone who's still alive.
So,
Yes.
so those that are dead, do they belong to anybody in particular? Are we going to face retribution on your part?
No, they're unbelievably dead. They're about it. Like, I could not find you the ashes of these people.
Do I even dare ask? You know what? No, I think it's probably safer for my sanity if I just do what we normally do.
Okay. But yeah. When we're done here, we'll you should receive a message on all of your comm links to you know, a little, hey, we're from Dan and Dan. Yeah.
Fairbank raises his hand. So, just to be clear, this is a straightforward pick up, drop off. We're expected at both ends. You don't anticipate anyone getting angry, pissed, or aggressive at us.
Yes.
What's the catch? What's the fun little twist that makes this our job and not like UPS's job?
He he looks at Dan. The other Dan steps up and he says, well, so we were just going to give this to UPS, but you know, Jack's our friend, and he was like, no, that's the dumbest idea. What did he say? You're both dumb ass Drek brains for thinking that you wouldn't need help with this. Yeah, that's what he said. So that's why we're here. I trust Jack. Yeah, I trust Jack. So that's why we're here.
Great.
Pay?
Tankard?
So as they're talking, and I'm kind of plotting a course out on the map, while doing that, shoot, I forgot what I was gonna say. I'll ask. Totally forgot my question, but I'm plotting out a route. Never mind.
Okay. Let's see.
Oh, this place where we're heading was that the same place that the Doom Spirit, where the Doom Spirit thing went down?
Doom Spirit, you know anything about it? No, I don't.
Oh, sorry, that was me asking Asu, sorry.
Oh, no, not that you know of.
Okay. I thought the places sounded similar. I gotta take better notes.
No, you are right. It's in the same general location, but Snohomish is like tens of miles.
Gotcha.
Snohomish is a
Thank you.
county.
Gotcha.
Wraith, what was your question?
Oh, my question was pay.
Oh, yeah, yeah, uh, 10,000 lump sum. So, split amongst yourselves. 10,000.
Expectation of time frame for delivery.
Today, it's gotta be in the next, 2 hours.
That seems fast.
Yeah, I mean, it should only take you, 20 or 30 minutes to get, from here to there.
If we were flying, maybe.
Oh, should we give them more time? I don't know, Jackson.
Is it perishable, or will it blow up in our face if you don't get it there exactly on time? Or is there some wiggle room?
No on both. As long as the case doesn't get broken, it's not perishable, and under no circumstances should it explode. God, no.
Metaphorically, is it a danger to us if it does not get to a certain place at a certain time?
Are you lactose intolerant?
Jackie's face just goes, even in the virtual sim, is just like, what?
Yeah, I mean, as long as you're not, deathly lactose intolerant, you should be fine.
I know I shouldn't ask this question. I'm going to ask it anyway. What exactly is this, if you can tell us?
Well, unfortunately, being that it is a prototype, cutting edge, big stuff, I unfortunately can't, because, what if you, we don't think you're gonna get captured, but Jack said to make sure not to tell you too much, or else if you get captured, bad things might happen to you or us or him or everyone involved.
Fair enough,
There it is.
like I said.
You got it.
This is
But-
definitely us
but,
first radio.
You shouldn't be getting captured. No one's supposed to be coming after you.
On the off chance that somebody does come after us, who
Oh.
would they be? Do you know?
No. Well, okay, just spitballing out here. We do have a couple of competitors. There's R&R. They're a local corp. There's, I guess, as technology, but they're not up here. They probably don't care about us. And then there's Renraku, but we killed everybody, so Renraku shouldn't know about anything. Oh fuck.
They're okay.
But I mean, okay, so we also one time employed a guy who got killed by Satyr Krupp, but nah, that's years ago now. If they were gonna kill anybody about that, they would have done it by now.
As you have now brought it to our attention that we are looking at a megacorp who may be interested in this due to the elimination of a previous group, it is within my right to request and negotiate an increase in our fee.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. What were you thinking? Oh, I mean, 20,000, no more.
I look around the group.
That is each, correct?
No, that's to split amongst yourselves. That's for the group.
I'm
Are
sorry.
you offering? Go ahead.
Oh, no, please, go ahead.
Are you offering equipment insurance?
Sure. 5,000 in insurance. If anything breaks, we'll reimburse you up to 5,000.
35.
Yeah, 35?
It's insurance. You may not even have to put it up. I have negotiations.
Roll me that negotiations, please. Because now they're starting to be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. We are business people. Like, all right.
Nice.
Okay.
Uh,
Yes. So, uh, so I'll say this. Technically, rules as written, what would happen is they would then roll their negotiation, but my group has found that it's a lot better if they could go toe to toe with you right now, then they would roll and it'd be like an opposed. But because they can't, because they don't have enough dice that I feel they'd be able to even have a chance, it's I consider it just a threshold which you've beaten.
okay.
Just for anybody out there, any rules lawyers out there who are like, you're not doing Shadowrun right. It's my game.
That's the thing that
Alright.
matters.
Fairbank is just like sitting back and like watching all of this and like is looking like really impressed. It's like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. And like kind of snapping up other people and like pointing at them and doing like eyebrows, trying to like be the one person who stands behind somebody. And it's like, yeah, what?
I like it.
Clean shave Dan says, okay, yeah, the 35,000 insurance.
Just in case something happens to a car. Just,
Yeah.
you know.
Okay. Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah. 35,000. Yeah. Right.
I would like to request 20% upfront.
Aw.
Yeah, I'll roll a
Aw.
negotiation on that.
Yeah. Jack. Dan is the one making that noise. So, yeah. Actually, give me that. My players never, like my regular group, never haggles. So this is so much fun. I never get to do this.
Yep.
Um,
Not so great. One success.
They're like, well, no. So like we can work out the 35 insurance later, but like we only have the like 10 right now to give you, and like we're gonna have to move some stuff around for the 20. No, I'm sorry, we can't offer anything up front right now.
Jack is gonna owe me something for this one.
Then, if you have requested a time frame of 2 hours, I would like to, if something goes awry, or if your plan does not seem to work as well as you have stated it should, we need a way to contact you or somebody that is acting on your behalf.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. We'll make sure Jack gets you our comlink number. Is anyone looking? So Jack, after kind of like quietly giving you guys your mimosas a while ago, he's been just standing outside the door, just kind of in case. Does anyone look at Jack right now?
Jackie is looking at Jack because she's looking at this job, hearing the pay. She knows it's coming from Jack, so she's not going to turn it down. But she's definitely arching her eyebrows at him in a very, what did you just get us into sort of way. She's got questions for him when she's done.
Okay, because right now Jack's back is towards all of you, because he's kind of like doing the muscle stance. And when Dan says, "Yeah, I'll give you my comlink number," Jack's just like,
This is why I wear the horse head, so they can't see me laughing and smiling on the inside.
It's a lot easier for Jackie to keep her sim avatar just kind of that pale, bland, like, expressionless.
Now, what's especially funny is, and I won't say everything about Dan and Dan's without like a knowledge roll, but so these guys being labeled a level A corporation means that these guys are about as big as Disney.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I say that not because your characters would necessarily know that, but just so you know how unbelievably hilarious all of what's happening right now is.
Yeah, I have a feeling that rating is about as accurate as my sin.
Hilariously, you'd be wrong.
Oh, wow.
They've earned that A rating.
Well then.
Wow.
But yeah, so they say that. What do the rest of you say?
I'll log out. Well, I got my information.
All right. You,
So
you
be it.
drop down an AR, and then you can take your. Because if you just pull, if you or someone else,
we're not gonna cold pull. But I'll go back to
Yeah.
augment reality. I'll stay jacked in, but not as heavy. Pick up my drone, put it in the pocket, stay aware.
Okay. Wraith.
Sorry, I will pop out and I'll be like, all right.
Well, boys, it's a pleasure doing business with you. Make sure you use a burner. And that's all Jackie says before she disconnects herself.
Yeah, hearing you say that, clean shaved Dan is like a little hurt. He's like, "Aw."
As she's disconnecting, she is physically just pinching the bridge of her nose, like, what am I getting myself into? I canceled a fun time for this.
Jack the Orc. And I'm like using the full name and title.
Alright, he's still so. If you're still in the booth when you try to say his name, it looks like he can't hear you at all.
Jackie's not going under any sort of pretense. She's leaning out the door going, hey, Jack, what the fuck?
Oh, is it over?
I guess we should accept the contract. Jack back
Alright.
in. Accept.
If it's on her comm link, she probably just accepts it without going back in, because she doesn't...
Yeah,
No.
both the, well, yeah, Dan and Dan are stupid enough. Yeah, there's a contract, like a little legal contract written up, and it's on your comm link along with their comm numbers. Now, what's hilarious is also it's not like Dan and Dan Electronics HR or anything. It's literally like Dan Niedermeyer, Dan Reynolds, sending you their personal comm link numbers. When you call for Jack to come in, he's like, okay, hold on. And he steps in, closes the door. And I should have said this at the beginning. When the door is closed, you cannot hear anything outside. Like, not even the reverberations of the music. It is like zero sound in here. Or
Nice.
from the outside. Jack steps up, closes the door, and he says, So yeah, I was kind of jacked into that because, all right, so believe it or not, this is not the first Shadowrun I have helped these guys set up.
They didn't learn from the first time.
They didn't learn
Is
from
it
the
the
fifth.
second?
No, this is like the 10th.
Did you actually recommend that pay for us?
I did.
And did you have my runner, my fixer contact me and tell me big money?
So, let me explain some things. I understand that these guys, they're wet noodles. They act like greenhorns. They seem like idiots, I'll admit. However, these two men are the leaders of one of the most brutal and fastest growing, on their way to become a mega corporation ever, actually.
So I have a question. Was that all an act? Or are they...
No,
they're genuinely that...
that's them. That's them at their best. Actually, I've had to like,
At least they're
pat them on the
learning.
back, help them through.
So,
Honestly, in your opinion, are they puppets?
No, no, they're too dumb, and they're also too brutal to be puppets. I To keep things light, I will not tell you the sorts of things I've seen these two men themselves do to their competitors. When they
Yeah.
mentioned that there should not be anybody fucking with you on their, as a run against them, like, I'll vouch for that. If I'm still expecting you guys to run up against some people, I'm definitely expecting you guys to get into some shit.
oh, I am definitely expecting shit.
I
How long ago was this Rinraku event?
Oh God, how long ago was that? 2 years.
Okay, so if they were facing retribution for that, it would have happened by now. Rinraku doesn't act that slow.
Yeah, he gets kind of a sad look on his face as he says the same thing with the Seder Krupp run. That's not going to be an issue.
Okay. I just
He
I
he
trust your
perks back.
judgment on this one.
Fair
Okay,
bit.
Are these the kind of guys who are going to turn around and then make us not a problem after this job?
No, probably not. I mean, unless
Okay.
you do something stupid like sell their thing to a competitor, but no. Don't like. Again, I understand that these guys seem like pushovers. If you do that, if you sell this to someone else for a higher price, like God cannot help you. I cannot help you. No one can help you.
It's an easy way to commit suicide.
Yeah, it's the funnest way, I would say.
Selling
Jackie
out.
just gives him a look at that, like,
I've died before. I know.
No, selling out is not going to happen. Not if you have me on the team.
Good. I like you. I don't want to have to take you out.
why do I have a feeling you picked me particularly just because you know I wouldn't say no?
There's a lot of other people I would have picked before you if they won't say no was the criteria.
I'm actually flattered by that.
I'll say this. Dan and Dan say they don't expect any mega problems. I believe that. I don't believe that there will be no problems. So I'll say it like this. I'm expecting all of you here to be wildly overqualified, but that the whole reason that I am hooking you up with what some might call an insulting job is because I want to see how you. Well, he motions over to Fairbank and says, "I want to see how you do, and I want to see how you three work together."
Okay.
Think of it as a job interview.
That's fair enough. So while we're all here, I do have some questions for the three of you.
Okay. You continue.
Okay. So Jackie kind of looks at all three of y'all, just kind of curiously, points to Wraith. You're obviously into guns. That's a good thing. The Wheelman, pointing at the character name
Tankard.
escaping. Yeah. And then Fairbank, Tanker, thank you. And then pointing at Fairbank, what do you do? Other than look loud and like better bait than I typically am.
So I take out a deck of cards. And I say, pick a card.
Hold on. Before you do anything,
Wait, let me check my equipment. Hold on.
please pick a card.
Oh yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So to grab a card
It's
from a
draw,
regular
right?
deck, you just kind of drag it, click and drag the back of the.
Oh, I thought I did that. Did it not load up?
It's a little wonky. Did I make sure to show this to everybody?
Oh, click to
Yeah,
draw.
So-
I have it.
Oh, yeah.
There we are. That's
So I take 5 of clubs. 5 of clubs, excellent card. So I take it and I shuffle it. It's like, now I'm not gonna do the real hardcore stuff because it seems like they would shoot me immediately. But
Oh, if it's gonna
Is
get you
this-
shot, let's do it later. Because
no, but I worked really hard in this trick.
How about outside the doors?
Jack says, actually, you would probably want to stay inside these doors right now. If you're really worried that I'm gonna have to kill you for this, you want to be in here.
It's not the real stuff. It's just I do magic.
Okay.
Okay.
There it is.
And is this your card? Do I have to roll
Yeah.
anything to see if I do it right?
I would say I would like you to, just because it's possible you could fail, even though
Oh, yeah.
you've done this a million times. It's possible.
Oh yeah.
So we'll say roll your con. What I would normally have you roll is your palming, but it seems like you maybe don't want to be rolling your palming right now.
Two successes.
All right, so Jackie, could you roll me your perception visual?
okay, I have to.
I say visual just in case you have a specialization. It would just be a normal perception if you don't.
I am. Looking...
Having trouble finding it?
Yeah, or is it under? It would be under skills, wouldn't it? I thought I had
Yes.
perception.
So, yeah, if you don't see it under physical skills, then hit show all, and that just means that you don't have any points in perception. You can, of course, still roll it. That's weird. Okay, that's just roll 20 being a little weird, and I'm sorry about that.
No, it's fine. I just okay. 2 successes.
Hilarious. You're not sure how, but you know he failed because you were able to follow the card, and you're like, wait, hold on, no, that's not like a fancy trick. You just sort of like,
I mean, if it helps, Jackie also has con too. So
oh, if this was more, if this was A, different, and B, more important.
yeah. But I mean,
uh,
that might explain how she was able to keep track of it.
Yes. Okay.
She's like,
So you are thoroughly unimpressed.
let's hope your real magic is better than your show magic.
Oh.
Yeah, if you did
No,
that, that
it
would
is.
absolutely get you shot. Yeah.
Pick up.
We'll test that out later when we're not, in a questionable place.
Yeah, please do not do it here.
Mm.
Then let's go ahead and step out. I think that we have our mission. We know where we're supposed to go.
Alright.
All right. And as Jack opens the door and kind of stands by it, expecting Jackie to like take him to the side, if it's all right, I think this is a perfect time to take a little 10-minute break. Water,
Yeah.
a little bit of food.
Cool.
Yep.
Sounds good.
All right, 10 minutes it is.
Alright. I'll see y'all in 10.
And we are back.
Welcome back,
Alright.
everybody. All right. So, just to catch anybody up who's either coming back or coming in, our runners have just secured one of the shakiest jobs they are likely to take in the next, 2 days. And we are stepping out of the booth Jack, sort of in a professional, head down, fingers against his nose. Does anyone say any last words to Jack as you walk out of the booth?
No, I'm pretty sure he knows he owes me at this point.
Fairbank gives him a handshake. Just a normal one. We're not there yet. We're working on
Okay.
it.
Yeah. He gives you a normal handshake and a good luck. Break a leg. Don't break a leg.
Do a nod. Yep. This is our job now.
All right. Is there anything else you would like to do specifically at the Pale Moonlight before you head out?
I think just a quick conversation on the way out, but we don't I might wait till we're kind of like away from Jack and into the main room before I bring something up.
Okay. He will just kind of follow you out into the main room, but knowing how these sorts of things go down, he takes the nearest seat at the bar closest to that door into the back room, and very visibly pops in some earbuds.
I'll make sure to return my wrist bracelet back to the person at the door.
All right. Yeah, the bartender man will be very, very happy to get it back.
Before we go, I assume we need to plan how we wish to accomplish this easy task.
We could, certainly. Would you prefer to do it outside or in here?
Kind of look around. Probably here. It's a little easier. I mean, I don't mind stepping in the back of my van, but I don't. Here's fine. Speaking of vans, are we going individually? Are we going? I mean, I assume we'll arrive as a team, maybe one in back. As far as the pickup goes, do anybody need a ride?
My figures.
You're with me, kid. Even though we're probably
Yeah.
the same age.
Let's
Yeah.
just to verify who here can actually drive or has the ability to have somebody drive for them if combat occurs on the road.
I mean, I've got my bike, but I can't guarantee somebody's going to be able to drive that for me unless they can jack into it.
Time out for the GM. We're playing right after everything happens, right? So we don't have the Wi-Fi as in the new versions.
Yes. So, we'll actually explain a little bit more what you're asking. I think I know, but I want to be sure.
So, like, originally, like, to hack something, you have to jack in and all of that. And we're playing, for those that don't know, we're playing 5th edition of Shadowrun. And 4th edition, even the 4th edition anniversary, everything was Wi-Fi. Or, like, RFID chips and all of that. Is wireless a thing? Or I assume it is, but, like, what is the distance? And how much... Because I'm a drone rigger. I assume I'm going to be sitting in the back of my van, flying and driving.
Yes. So, everything is still wireless for the most part. Of course, the real important secure stuff is going to be nested inside of hosts. And what's hilarious is that is a recent addition to fifth edition. Before it was everything's wireless. If it can be wireless, it is. But now, thanks to kill code and I believe data trails, there are going to be times where you're rooting around in a host doing reconnaissance, and what you'll see is that there are offline hosts. So you'll see that they exist, but you're like, I have to slot in directly to deal with them. Now, with distance, the big thing is what's called noise. And I believe for Cyberdex and Rigger command consoles, it's a little different how noise works, but essentially, distance, jammers, a number of other things will give you noise, which is a minus to your pretty much everything matrix. You can actually, any one of you can turn your comlink into a localized jammer. You don't even necessarily need to be a decker or hacker of any sort. But for your Rigger command console, of course, it's these little important questions. I could tell you like anything else, but I'm like, oh man. But I do know
It's cool.
where that
I know where it is in the book.
noise. All reactions from a noise penalty. If you're using
Plants.
okay, interesting. So yeah, so let me go double check. Haha. Noise reduction. That's true. You can also load up cyber programs if you've bought them that help you reduce your noise. That would be it. It's something like if you don't know if you have a cyber program that reduces noise, you probably don't, and you would buy that either from a legal electronics store, hilariously, like Dan and Dan's Electronics, which at this point is the only like affordable electronics store in Seattle.
Yeah.
Or you could if it's like a hacking program to help you do your more malicious stuff, you would buy it from a black market dealer.
Okay.
So let's see. I believe
I'm not sure if I got to the point of buying software, but I know I have money where I can do that at some.
let's see. Okay, so between 101 and 1,000 meters, that is a noise level of 1. So it's direct connection, 0 noise, up to 100 meters, 0 noise, 101 to 1 kilometer, 1 noise, 1,001 to 10,000 meters is 3 noise, and greater than 100 kilometers, 8 noise.
That's nice.
Now, the other places where noise can be hardcore is this densely packed area of the city, so specifically downtown, sprawl downtown, so if you go into Redmond or Puyallup, and a number of other situations that, if they come up, I will let you know. You are suffering noise from probably X.
Okay.
So-
Awesome.
Okay.
We do roughly have 2 hours on this job, so I don't recommend us sitting around too long.
No. I'm assuming
I
you're.
fully agree.
I'm assuming you've got a route set up already, Tancred. Run us through it.
Oh yeah. I'll point to the data jack next to my data jack. I got a van out front.
All right.
So for planning a route right now, how to put it? You could use your area knowledge Seattle. You could roll the navigation skill. If anyone has a map soft of Seattle, that will help you, but it's not necessarily required. The difference being anybody can go on Gizoogle, because we can't call it Google, because Catalyst Game Labs will get sued. But what is it?
Boy, I would laugh if that happened. Sorry.
Same. But anyone can Gizoogle Seattle, but the information that you would get could be outdated, could be old. With a map soft, it's constantly like real time updated. No problem if nobody has a map soft. But okay, so with that area knowledge Seattle, I will actually put everybody on the Seattle road. So this is roughly correct. The Shadowrun version of Seattle. So of course everyone is right about here. And I'll put a little green circle. Can you all see this? Just to be safe.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. So
I might go ahead and drop us into the battle map so that chat can, or our audience can also see it really quick.
Okay, yeah. Luckily, with shift click, I can immediately bring you all to what I'm seeing, and nothing should be obscured here. If you see any, dark areas, let me know, because they shouldn't be here.
Yeah, looks good.
Okay. So this is where you are starting. This is where you need to go to pick up the prototype. And then all the way up here is where you need to go to deliver the prototype. So with that area knowledge, Seattle, so actually, I would like to ask, would you like to re-roll that using a point of edge?
Yes, please.
Awesome. And while...
Go
Would I be able to assist with that? Because I also have knowledge of Seattle.
Actually, yes. So, here's what we're gonna do. First, Jackie, you roll your area knowledge Seattle. Those hits we will add to that edge reroll because so
Heck yeah.
That's 3 successes for that one.
all right. Tanker, do you know what your dice pool is for the edge reroll?
It is 6.
It is actually
it adds your edge to it, doesn't it?
it actually, so because you got 1 success and your dice pool is normally 6, you take that 1 success away, and whatever new successes you get, you add to it. As well, if it asks for a situational modifier, that is 3.
Okay.
And
So re-roll my stat, but my situational modifier is 3.
yes.
Okay.
Is help something that can stack, or can only one person help at a time?
It gets complicated, so I will say this. If you have a relevant skill and ranks in that relevant skill, there are certain things you can help with. Knowledge skills, I consider being able to help with because it's like, in this situation, Tankard might be like, oh, let's just go up to 5. That should be easy. And then Jackie's like, whoa, the 5's going to be blocked up right now. Let's go. Bah. But if you were, how to put it? If someone was, setting an explosive and you didn't have any ranks in demolition, you could not help them.
Fair.
Yeah. It's the fun stuff.
And I have marked that I used one of my edges.
So the popular things that you can use edge for is pre-rolling edge. So if you are already like, I need big hits here, you can use a point of edge, and you will not, essentially you'll stop caring about your limit on whatever it is. You will add your edge number to that dice pool, and 6s explode. So if you roll a 6, it'll roll again and roll again until it stops having 6s. You can, what we're doing here, which is post edge, where you didn't like what you got, and you're like, let me re-roll that. You take what successes you have out of the total dice pool, and any new successes you get, add to that success. Your limit does still apply to a post edge. And there are a couple of other situations that are not important right now. As they become important, or I see an opportunity where I might suggest it, I'll let you know. But for now, yeah, feel free to.
For a roll.
Yes.
Nice.
Got 2
Okay.
more.
So that is 3 successes. So normally, you would, not to show my hand too much, you would have gone all the way up the 5 straight through traffic choke downtown, and that would probably take you about 3.5 hours. With this 3 successes, or with this 3 successes total, you know that it's fine to stay on the 5 up until you hit basically the limits of Tacoma, and that's when you want to jump east, keep following the 5 until you hit Renton, and essentially it's gonna look something like this. Now, the faster route is through the Redmond Barrens.
I have knowledge specialization on the Redmond Barrens.
Nice.
Yes, so give me that, and that will give all of us a little more information about how bad of an idea this might be.
2 successes.
Okay, so the parts of Redmond that is currently being suggested, using the best knowledge we have, suggests that you're going to be going through a couple of major gang areas, specifically 72 family, the Ancients, and you might just barely kiss the edge of where the Halloweeners are. Now, that could be a problem, but Redmond is notorious for its danger in that Redmond is just as much a danger to outsiders as it is to insiders. No one is safe in the Redmond Barrens. Ever.
Yeah.
And actually, with that role, I'd be able to also tell you, a couple of years ago, right around the Doom Spirit situation, Redmond was carpet bombed by military planes. Now, nobody knows exactly why, but the popular rumor is it had something to do with Shadowrunner business.
Well then.
Okay.
So,
I mean, I think we could go through Redmond and be okay if we gun it.
no, if there's a way that we can rig up a secondary box that looks like the first one, I can certainly take it on my bike. Maybe provide a little bit of a distraction.
The threats we would incur in Redmond would not be the corporate type. They won't be interested in the box.
Yeah, but I'm still pretty flashy. Remember, I said I'm bait.
Uh,
Let's see.
all right. So is I will say that's just your first plan after seeing, yeah, no, what Gazoogle is telling us is wrong. Here's the first idea. Do you want to go with a second idea, or is this the way you want to go?
It wouldn't hurt to have an alternate route set up, just
Alright.
in case.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Now this one is a little. Yeah, I would say this one is a little more dangerous on, like, more of a long-term scale. Going through Redmond, you're probably just going to be, like, in mortal danger for 30 minutes, 30 minutes maybe. But the second fastest way is to cut through Bellevue. And if you take the right exits and the right suburbs, you could get through Bellevue with not too much hassle, and it'll shave about 15 minutes off your total drive. The problem with Bellevue is that it's actually a little more guarded than, well, everything's more guarded than Redmond. So there are going to be 3 stops where one or all of you are going to have to scan your sin.
Okay.
Now, these are, you can, just from your combined knowledge, you know that these are small, like, basically DUI points and just places to make sure that if you're coming from Redmond, you're not going to stay in Bellevue. But if you wanted to get through those or needed to get through those the hard way, it'd be pretty easy.
Yeah.
I do have contact with a fence in Redmond as well, so I do know somebody there.
I think
Get
one of
some
my safe
idea.
houses out there.
And get some idea of
Yeah.
current lines where the gangs are located.
All right.
But quite frankly, what's your thought? I don't exactly like the idea of a corporate stop.
No.
And certainly not 3 of them.
I think Redmond's our best bet unless things are really heating up at the moment.
Agreed.
So.
Thank God. Oh, I'm terrified of corporate places. I'm not saying I have issues with them, but I'm
We're
not saying I've
Shadowrunners.
had good luck.
Not saying it's a problem, but I'm not saying it's not a problem.
No problem.
Exactly. So, Redmond's our best bet for this route.
I'm in.
All right.
Let's do it.
All right.
Okay. Real quick, I just to do.
Pardon me.
Okay. So, with your initial plan kind of locked in, unfortunately, the fastest way out of downtown is the 5, so it'll take you about 20 minutes to get from the pale moonlight down to this warehouse. Now, once you get into the Tacoma city limits, it opens up. You're just zooming.
All right.
And I'm riding with Tankard, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome.
You other 2 are on motorcycles. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
this
I've
point,
got
yeah.
a. Yeah. I think we both have a growler, which, Jackie will nod her head in approval at Wraith for that kind of choice.
Did you upgrade the software?
No, she's got a very aesthetically pleasing growler, but she's got a pretty stock standard otherwise. She chose a blue one.
Yeah, that'll stick you out, especially among the bikers. So yeah.
Can you tell she has a favorite color?
All right, let's go. Let's get this.
All
was
right.
was Wraith about to say, "Let's get this bread"?
No,
So-
just let's get this box and let's get it out of here. And let's find out if this warehouse, these people are actually expecting us.
Yeah.
I hope so. I will go ahead and before we start, I'll put my Nissan rotary drone out the window, turn it on, and that hovers so we have an overhead cam.
Yeah. If you need, Jackie will provide like any sort of access codes to her bike if you need to like take it over or something.
Okay.
If that's possible.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh,
It
yes.
should be possible.
So, actually, unless, if I remember right, pretty sure, unless Jackie's bike has a basically a rigging module into
Okay.
it,
You need module on it.
I
you
don't
would
have a
be able
module
to
on
do
it.
things like through your cyber deck, basically say, hey, go forward, go faster, hit the brakes.
Yes.
But that's about it, and there would be time lag. So
Yeah.
Okay.
it's like, if we need to, you can, but not in like a, you're about to slam into a wall at 80 miles an hour. Let me hit the
Not
brakes.
efficiently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see how the first run works, and we might rig something up.
All right.
Eh, nice pun.
Also, just because I want to say this and get it off my chest, before we leave the club, like either to the bartender or one of the door guards, Jackie will spout off, just let me know when the devil shows up. Be interested in a dance.
If you say that to Shersa, who was the one who talked to you, she'd be like, I think I can arrange that. If you say that to the door guards, they say nothing.
I'll say it to Sharsa then, and pass her my number.
Yeah, you can easily do that with just sort of a whoop and give her your comp. It's super neat because you could be super slick and like you could even like do it behind your back where she doesn't see, and she'd get your number just on her comm link.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean,
She
I
takes
have
it.
performance in dance. I might as well use it for something.
Maybe not this run, but definitely next run. I think we'll
Have you ever seen Star Trek V?
Oh God, which one was that?
I'm joking. Sorry.
Oh.
That's the one, sadly, where Uhura distracts all the guards with a fan dance.
You know, on the one hand, it's like, oof, the 1960s, but on the other hand, it's like, well, at least she's in the movie. That might have been the 80s by then. Anyway,
Well, it
Actually,
was the 80s or 90s by that point.
Yeah.
So, Final Frontier.
oh yes. Okay.
Anyway.
All right. So now I just needed to do like a couple little things because I wasn't sure who was gonna be at the warehouse. So, yeah. If it is laggy, please let me know. Unfortunately, there's not much I can do about it because this is a gigantic map.
Okay. I think it is still loading for me unless I don't have lighting at the moment.
You don't, and that is because... So as you come up to this warehouse, it looks like every other big corporate warehouse. You know, it's got a big Dan and Dan's Electronics Incorporated Ltd. Limited, which I think is the same thing, but they don't know. Dan and Dan don't know anything about like business. But so as you pull up, of course, the gate is closed because the only way in, the only easy way in, is through the front gate. And I will. So whose vehicle is up front first? I will let you decide that.
If we're
I would
talking...
probably take.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was going to say, if we're talking over our comm links, using the wireless, our wireless directly between all of us, I would recommend having one person in front and one person in back and keeping the van in the middle, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I would probably take the back since I'm the sniper.
Yeah. I'll be
Okay.
front because flashy one. The wild card.
Nice. So actually that brings up another point, which is the idea of pans and wans. So like you were saying earlier, Wraith, and I should have said then, all of your stuff that's on you, your Predator 5 smart gun link, or your wireless earbuds, are connected to your PAN, your personal area network. So if anyone wanted to, say, break into your earbuds, they'd have to go through your comlink. Or, if you have a cyber deck. Then there is the WANs, the wide area networks, which in this case would probably be Tankard's cyber deck or Rigger command console, where you would all slave your lower level electronics to his cyber deck. So essentially, that means that while he does have basically ownership of your stuff, as well, if anyone tries to break into any of your stuff through the Matrix, they have to go through him first.
Yeah.
So that's just one of those, like, Runner 101s.
Hey, makes sense.
So yeah, okay. So then, is it Wraith or Jackie in front of the van?
Jackie's in front.
Okay. I'm hoping that this will not be as important as I'm making it seem. But it's Shadowrun.
Mhm.
You never know.
Yeah.
Bonk. Okay. So, although this is the way it looks, so Jackie, you would hit this fence back here, and it would be closed. There are 2 security guards inside this security booth that you could see through the glass that also has one of those little slots for you to put things in and take things out. As you get up to the gate, one of the guys pokes his head out and says, well, I say guys, it's a woman. She says, we're not expecting anyone. Shift started 20 minutes ago. Can I help you?
No, we're just here to pick something up on behalf of a couple of friends of ours. And I'm assuming Jackie got like the necessary paperwork from Jack or Dan and Dan.
Yeah, that would have been in with the contract and the the comlink numbers.
I'm sorry, I just read chat. Oh my god. But yeah, Jackie passes over the necessary paperwork to the
All right.
woman.
Okay.
Paperwork.
Okay. The security person says, "Oh, okay. Yeah. So you're gonna go around to Bay. You're gonna go to loading dock D, and back up into there, and we will have the we will have it for you."
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anna smiles at you and then dips back in.
I wait for Wraith and the van to make it in through the gates before I go back in front of them to lead them to where they need to go.
Okay. So yeah, you're all able to rumble through. And notably, Tankard, on your rotodrone. So you're doing your normal reconnaissance, just kind of spinning around, looking around. When you see, at first it's a small dot off in the distance, kind of above your rotodrone. And as it gets closer and closer, you're like, okay, that's something. That's like not a good thing, but what the hell is it? It is a van. It is a gigantic Condor drone with a van bigger than yours flying in.
And I literally just oh god, I don't.
Oh no.
So back in the day, great, 30 generations ago, think of a giant bird plane. What were they? Hercules, C-130, right? Just this big cargo transportation. It's carrying a van, but it's a drone. That's coming in, and I'll, you know, give them the clock facing from north at noon, and it's there. You all can see that, right? Is it just me? It's probably just me.
Can you give us an estimate on speed? Do we need to speed this up?
It's coming fast.
If you send me
That's
the
a good
video
question.
feed, I will
Would
be able to watch it
do
too.
such?
Yeah. Do you open your roto drone's image link so everybody can see what your drones?
Yeah, absolutely. Open up the cam.
Okay. So anybody who has something that has image link, so again, that's one of those. If you didn't buy it, you probably don't have it right now. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, the image link can broadcast to everybody. It's that if you wanted to broadcast, you would need image link. Sorry about that. So yes, everybody sees as long as you have AR perception stuff. And yeah, this guy is wow. Probably
And
by
for
the time
Fairbank, I throw it up on the display panel of the van.
Oh, excellent, great, awesome.
so
Yeah, sorry.
by the time you guys are by the time you're here, that's when you see the drone. By the time you are here, that's when you can tell it's a van. And by the time you are here, it is close enough to the roto drone and it's going fast enough that it shoots over the roto drone, but the van drops with parachutes.
Is
If I
it
Should
getting
have
far
a few
away?
minutes.
If I may, the moment that Tankard said that we've got incoming, I would have
Okay.
peeled off to get ready.
Okay, which direction?
I would have stopped where we were, wherever we were, back where we were coming in, wherever point that would have been.
Okay, then you would have probably been, oh no, right about there.
Okay. I pull my motorcycle into slot 3. And
Oh no.
I peel off my my equipment. I peel off my my motorcycle gear, and I'm wearing chameleon skin underneath it. And I go Predator.
Okay. Interesting. I like it. Okay, so I will say you all at this point have one complex action that you can do before the van hits the ground.
Is the van hostile to us, or is it just coming in fast and hot?
We'll put it like this. As it's coming in and you realize it's above you because you can hear you can hear the whistling of the wind around it.
Yeah, the nylon of the parachute.
Yeah, you look up and you see in the back of the van, and Jackie, your eyes actually connect with one of the back. He's got an AK-97 already out, already ready to go. He is wearing, as far as you can tell, red, probably armor, but it's kind of light armor. He's not like SWAT or anything. But as soon as you lock eyes, he's like, oh no, and closes the back of the van because it looked like they were about to just jump out.
All right. I'm going to keep my eye on that van. I'm going to let Tankard go ahead of me. I've told him what bay and dock to get to. I tell him to gun it. And I'm going to slow down and just kind of trail behind him slowly, watching wherever the incoming van is going to land. Can I tell where that is just yet?
Unfortunately, yes. And because of the drift, it looks like it's about to land in spot 3. Well, 4, 3, and 2. Great. You would also see this unless you are in a position where you couldn't.
Nope, I I get out of the way, obviously. But if I got, you said we got a complex action.
Yeah, so you can either take 2 simple actions, 1 complex action, or 1 free action. And if you want to know what all those are, I, in handouts, have Combat a Guide, and that tells you pretty much all of the things that you're going to want to know. I have finished the statuses, but that is all right. If you need an extrapolation on what is what, just let me know.
No, I'm just. Oh, I forgot to pick up my assistant. Oh well.
These are also on page 162 in the core rulebook.
Alright. I don't suppose we remembered to, pick up Wade on the way out, did we?
Would you have brought him with you to the Pale Moonlight?
He probably would have followed me on his own if I didn't sit him on the back of my bike somehow.
All right, then yes, I will say that you picked him back up at the Pale Moonlight, and he is on the back of your bike right now.
Yeah. For the record, for everybody listening at home, there is a wolf dog, well enough trained to sit on the back of a off-road bike. Little goggles just to keep his eyes safe. Jackie's got a friend.
So
If
Wraith,
I didn't
would say,
shove him in-
Wraith, I would say you have enough time to move out of to do your move distance away from where the van is going to land. And as that would only be a free action, you still have your 2 simple or 1 complex.
Okay, so for my movement speed, let me find that really quick.
That should be on the first tab of your character sheet, right above notes.
Yeah, so my movement should be an 18.
Yes. Is that the top number?
Top number is 18 and bottom number is 36.
Okay. So just so everybody knows, your walking speed, you can move that far in a combat turn, which we will get into in a second, without taking penalties. The second number, you can go that far. You take a -2 to certain actions like firing a gun or swinging a sword, and your opponents take a -2 to hitting you with weapons. Anything beyond that second number, you have to roll a running skill, and any hits you get 2 more meters of movement. Unless your character sheet says otherwise, but I don't think anybody should. So yeah, you are moving that first number, right?
Yeah, so 18 is, that's not going to be 18 squares though. That's going to be
That is 18 squares.
18 squares. Oh, wow.
Yeah, one square is 1 meter.
That's not bad. It's good movement.
Yeah. However, so I'll explain this when we roll initiative, which is coming up. So Wraith, just put yourself wherever you would want to be, and we'll say you got that far before these guys hit the ground.
They're going to come down right in front of me, and I think my complex action is going to be to shoot at their fuel tank, if I can.
Oh, okay, so you are specifically targeting their fuel tank.
Yes, with my sniper.
All right. So this is what is called a called shot. And this is just whenever you decide you're specifically going to hit a target. Different places are different amounts of difficulty. So because of where you're at, I would say that is a -4 to hit the gas tank, which is equivalent to specifically trying to shoot someone in the chest.
All right, so you want me to go ahead and roll that?
Yes, roll that with a -4. Wow. Okay. Nice. All right. So
Is that how it's supposed to work?
that is actually that is a perfectly. I will. That is a good roll. That's a great roll. Actually.
Audience, I got 5 successes after all the penalties and
good.
everything.
That's good.
Yeah. I'll admit you're a monster. With a sniper, you are a monster.
Yeah.
So let's see. What's that? So this is a little weird of a situation. So instead of getting their dodge dice, which we would normally assume, because normally you would be like in a chase trying to shoot a car, not directly underneath it. So instead, I am going to do what is called a barrier roll. So essentially, what is going to happen right now is I am going to roll the structure and barrier of this gas tank, which is not a lot. And it's very fiddly, but if you get more than its armor and more than its structure to a certain amount, you punch a hole through it.
Does the penetration of my sniper rifle affect that? The armor piercing.
Oh my god, it does. So yes, actually,
Yeah, I've got a
So-
I knock off 4 from their armor.
yes, and since they only have 2 armor, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
So no matter what, they get their 1 die. Let me actually. So let's see.
And they could always get lucky.
Hilarious.
Or they
Um,
could get extremely unlucky.
So, you completely negate their armor, which means that your shot does do damage. And because their structure of 3 only got 2 successes, so right now, they're looking at 17, 15 points of damage. Now, of course, this does what you want it to do in this situation, which I presume is blow up the engine? Or
well, yeah.
blow up the
Yeah.
gas tank? Okay, that's fair. That's good. That's nice. So let's see, 3. So if let's say this was an actual like physical barrier, like a wall or something, you would have ripped a hole 5 meters big in it. Just for your edification. So you go, bam, just this huge fireball of an explosion. So
I really hope they weren't our backup.
yeah, they're like Dan and Dan backups. Like, oh, I think those guys might have wanted some help. Let's just airdrop them in some buddies. Like, Dan and Dan would do that.
Is anything gonna fall on Wraith?
or Jackie because she's slowing down.
Yeah, is anyone looking like they're gonna be hit with anything?
Luckily, or possibly unluckily, for you, Fairbank.
Oh, great!
No.
Oh, please do go on.
No, because so they're slowly drifting east. So as they're drifting, they hit the ground, on number 3, and bonk.
Bet you
They're
they
right
still
about
survive.
there. So that's the other thing. Because of the nature of this explosion, everyone in the back is having a bad time.
Yeah.
And if this was a normal situation, we would probably roll like a regular explosion's damage. we're gonna do that right now.
Man,
All you can see of the back of the van as it hits the ground is the flaming wall of fire and the
The
big
band's
chunks
turned
of
the
it.
corner at that point.
Yeah.
well, your
Um,
drone is probably still keeping a video going.
Yeah.
You just stopped it right where it is.
Oh, by the
No,
way,
it's a
I have
nice-
image capture myself, and I am videotaping all this for my resume.
Nice. That is both
Nice.
a great and terrible idea.
Yeah.
Uh,
I
um,
have a style.
It's true. So
Hey.
let's see. 6
Well-
people back there.
Oh god. Hey, Wraith, if there is any alive, I want at least one alive for questioning. Just putting that out there.
Oops.
At this point, I'm okay if they're not, given what you just did. But if they're still alive, because we aren't going to get that lucky, I don't think. Just, I need one alive.
I will
just
do
want
what I
questioning.
can. I'm gonna need salvage anyways. They landed on my bike.
Oh, no.
Hey, we got room in
Hey,
the
I'm being honest here. They landed on my bike.
Yeah. If it's any consolation, the least fiery part of it hit your bike before basically like scraping your bike against the ground. So other than some ripped up paint, your bike is fine, pretty much.
Yay.
Uh, so last thing, Wraith. I know you said you were turning the corner. Did you mean that, or was that a bit of a joke?
Oh no, like I wouldn't have waited. As soon as that explosion hit, it would have been one of those. Nope, we're going.
Okay. Can you tell me what the speed and acceleration of your van are?
I can. It is the classic Bulldog step van. The speed is 3. The acceleration is 1.
Okay.
Everyone loves
So-
that van.
Nice.
It's my favorite. Let me double check. Okay. Okay. So the way like vehicles in foot combat, which is what we're doing right now, work is a little weird. So
As far as I can get.
all right, I will say you are going that far before before you would basically that's how far you can go in the next 3 seconds because
that's
unlike
perfect.
Dungeons and Dragons, a combat turn is 3 seconds. Which is gonna get real nuts here soon because I'm gonna need initiative.
Did Jackie say the whole thing about like leaving one person alive to the whole comm group?
Probably. She wasn't. She's still
Yeah.
too far, and with the roar of a very active fire, she's probably just gonna rely on the comm.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Fairbank is just keeping his eye on anyone who comes out, but perhaps will not toast them.
Now,
So,
I will bring up, we are right at 10 o'clock.
so
Okay, so here is what we're gonna do. We're gonna roll everybody's initiative, and that will be the end of the session.
that's a good place to stop it.
Okay. Because then I can talk through some of the, like, real quick, just something to keep in mind stuff about initiative, specifically in Shadowrun. Because it's neat. It's neat, and I like it. Does anybody need help locating their initiative button?
I think we're all
Right.
in chat. It looks good.
Okay. I will also mention.
I did not have my token. Ew, so
I didn't.
is there a way?
There is a way, and I will get that for you here in a second. But yeah, just something to keep in mind for next time. Having your token selected when you
Yeah.
roll initiative will make everything nice and. Whoops! I just put those guys on the map layer. Oops!
I see nothing yet.
Technically, I don't see nothing. And the audience doesn't see nothing.
Okay. While we're getting initiative rolled and stuff like that, do I recognize, or is there even any markings on the van that haven't burned off yet?
No, there are also just none at all. This
Okay.
is your classic, no windows, unmarked van.
Okay. So, pretty safe to say at this point that they are hostile to us, just to begin with. Okay.
Yes.
I mean, they are now.
I mean, they are now, but they were before.
Yeah, you might have been able to reason with them in some point between now and the last 3 seconds. But you're pretty sure that ship has sailed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, not for nothing. That was a good idea. That was, in my opinion, the right decision.
That was the right decision.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was badass.
I was like,
So, Jackie, what was your initiative, please?
11.
11, thank you, Tankard. Fairbank, what was yours?
10.
Nice. Okay. Bomb. So, once everybody has gone through their turn, what happens is we subtract 10 from this number, and then that is called a combat pass. So like for Goon 3, who has 13, he would get 2 combat passes. After he has run out of combat passes, and everybody else has as well, that is 1 combat turn.
Okay.
So that is the 3 seconds. Let's see. There are things known as interrupt actions, such as we were kind of touching on before, where you spend some of your initiative to do something before someone else. Such things off the top of my head are, if someone is caught you in a suppressive fire cone, you can spend 5 points of edge to immediate edge. Initiative, 5 initiative points to drop down to the floor, and that's all a good thing. You can also use or spend your initiative for full defense. 10 initiative, and you get to add your willpower to your defense tests for that whole combat turn. And I will, in the coming days, be updating the combat guide with the interrupt actions, what they do, how much they cost. So I'll also be adding the ones out of the core rulebook, so the ones from Run and Gun and Run Faster. So you will... Shadowrun is a game that I am very happy to say, if you feel like there's nothing you can do but attack in a combat turn, you're either in the worst situation possible, or you just need to kind of look through those one more time. Because there's such as one simple action is the take aim action. It gives you a +1 to your dice pool when firing a weapon, and it raises your limit by 1. You can also take a take aim action as many times as you want, as long as you have the simple actions to spend. I once saw someone who got a +5 because of
Nice.
take aims. The thing is if you do use a take aim, you can't like move, or else your aim's gonna get thrown off. But yeah, for now that's all. That is the end of the session as weapons are drawn. The fire burns and crackles, the acrid smoke pouring into the distance. God damn it, Dan and Dan.
We haven't
Tell
even
us,
picked
tell
up
us
the
next.
package yet.
Yeah, they need to let us know when they're sending backup, right?
Hmm?
Exactly.
That's their fault.
True.
We should
Right,
just
well-
call them up on the comm link. Be like, "Hey, were you sending some guys? Just quick, sup?"
Well, I'm
Well,
also
actually,
assuming if
Dan
they were
always
sending
wanted to be
backup.
runner, so he's actually in the van that's coming. Is he there yet?
Yeah.
Hearts of Dan.
Jackie, what were you asking?
Oh no, I'm also saying like, hey, if they were actually sending backup, they probably would have been waiting for us at the gate or on the ground already inside. Now that
Yeah,
I'm
I don't
thinking
think-
about it.
I don't think they would have parachuted a van into their own facility if it was backup.
Yeah, yeah.
They
I
could be
would.
flashy. You don't know their style.
Okay, I expect them to do flashy in dumb ways, not flashy in somewhat smart ways.
Did you not think this was dumb?
What?
I'm thinking
maybe
they're
It didn't seem like a
rethinking their
dumb
their
idea
plan
until
now.
the sniper,
Yeah.
blew the gas tank.
Anyway,
Okay.
hey, that was great. I had fun.
That
I
was-
hope everybody
um,
else did.
Absolutely.
I'm having fun. This is
Awesome. Well, for Rook and Rasp, it's been Asu.
boring.
John.
Greg.
Phoebe.
Woo.
Well, we'll see y'all in a week, I guess.
See y'all
Absolutely.
next time.
Night, everybody.
Bye.
Night.